I started an e-commerce company. I wanted to be the Williams-Sonoma Pet Supplies. I put $1 million of my own money in, and I sold it for like $1.5 million. So I made some money, not a lot. I invested, or I started another e-commerce company. I started a travel site, sold that for a little bit of money. I started a company called Red Envelope, which went public on the NASDAQ in 2002. And because I was young and dumb, I kept investing. And then I got in a war with the board, and I did a proxy fight, and I took over the board and put more of my money in. And then 2008 came, and there was a longshoreman strike and a software malfunction at the warehouse where we sent 10,000 gifts to the wrong addresses over the holidays. And then a Wells Fargo analyst who was like 14 decided the credit crisis was coming and pulled our line. And my stock went from $7 a share to zero in about 11 days. And when the company had declared Chapter 11, and I lost pretty much everything.
Do you remember how much money when you felt that tipping point where you did feel financially secure? Not like bulletproof where nothing will ever happen, but do you remember the inflection point where you're like, okay, this feels different than I've felt on the climb?
I still haven't hit that point. I'm still very anxious about money. And I like to be very open about money because I think that not talking about money is basically a decorum that is promoted by the incumbents and the wealthy, such that you don't understand how much money wealthy people have to keep poor and middle-class people under the illusion that, oh, you should be paying 45% taxes while I'm paying 17%. And I think it's important to be I think it's helpful to be transparent. And I talk about how much money I've lost, all my investments, how much money I've gained, my tax rates, et cetera. I'm not obsessed with money. I think about it all the time. I'm trying to get a lot more. I'm giving it away. From 5 years ago, I decided I was going to give away every dollar I made in current income because I want to start catching up to the non-philanthropic Scott for the first 45 years of his life. But I'm still trying to make a shit ton of money. I still feel financially very insecure. I still worry about a recession becoming a depression, and I'm the guy who lost it again. I've lost it all a couple times. And so I don't feel I'm at that point where I don't have financial anxiety. I do sleep with one eye open. I sold my first company for $28 million. By the time I split it with my ex and my partner in taxes, I ended up with a few $1,000,000. Red Envelope, I got a few million there, but I always seemed to figure out a way to lose it. But I was able to start again because I never had debt. I've always lived below my means. But I would say the big win was probably selling L2. And I like that, oh, wow, I can buy a plane. Like that was not in my reach before. So that was kind of the big one. That was like all the moons lined up.
What was the price? What did it sell for? $200 or $300 million?
No, it sold for $158 million, but we'd only done one round of venture capital. So the common shareholders, I was the largest equity owner. So the top, between me and the top 6 employees, we probably owned 70% of it. So that was a lot of money for me. I'd never had that kind of money before. I'd always done well, but I'd never had that kind of capital. And then getting to invest that in the midst of a bull market, we sold in 2017. I've made more money investing actually than I've made from my businesses. The ability to create an army of capital, even if it's only $50 a month or $100 a month, put it in a tax deferred or tax efficient vehicle, diversify it, and then let time take over. Again, see above, you don't know how fast time is going to go. That's where I've built real wealth.
This doesn't make sense for Sean because Sean is not worried about money at all. He's got this thing that I like to call like good emotional health. He's very emotionally healthy. His parents did him well, and he's talked to me about this. I sold my company 2 or 3 years ago, and I made a fair bit.
What did you make? I'm naked here. What did you make?
Yeah, let's go, Sam. See, you got to say
he's hesitant. He's hesitant because he's worried people listen. Okay, go ahead.
At the end of the process, I walked away with about $20 million.
And how old are you?
I was about 30. I was 31 or 32.
So you should be extraordinary. You should be, unless you really screw up, you should be much wealthier than I am by my age. Because to get that sort of capital
I still feel shitty. I feel the same. I felt awesome for a minute, and then I felt shitty where I was like, like when I see these world events right now, when I saw like whatever happens every 6 months, I'm like, the world's gonna end. And I do I'm boring. Sean makes fun of me. I do 80-20 index and bonds. That's only own those
exactly what you should be doing right now.
I think so. And then I own HubSpot stock still, and then I own Airbnb stock. That's basically my portfolio. And Sean makes fun of me. He's like, "How are you feeling insecure?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm broken. Like I'm broken. Like it doesn't matter how much therapy I go to. I'm a broke. When it comes to money, I have a scarcity mindset, and I'm broken."
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And when you talk about how you're worth, 100 million plus, and you don't feel secure, Sean said he's like, "What a little bitch!" Like
Yeah.
no,
I
you talk about masculinity, man up. You know what I mean? And I have the same thing. I'm like, I can't. I'm weak.
All right, if you like that clip, there's a full conversation with a lot more just like that. Just follow my finger. It is right here.